Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today we are painting the Golden Gate Bridge with flowers in the front. This is a little sample painting I did to just kind of test it. Here is the photograph from which I'm working. I have it sketched out with, I'm using non-water soluble graphite paper today because I don't want those cables to disappear when I wet it. And at the bottom, I just put in some tiny little marks where the basic flowers go. I didn't put the flowers in, and I did not draw in the cables coming down. But at the top of every one of these cables, there's a dot, and that's where the cables come down. So that's how we'll know where to paint them. So the color that we're going to use on the Golden Gate Bridge is quinacridone burnt scarlet. It's a special color that I have in my palette. I don't use it very often, but it's just the perfect color for the bridge. And also this color is anytime you go to, say, the Grand Canyon or Zion Park and you're painting those red rocks, this is the perfect color for it. So I was originally thinking I was going to put poppies down here, but my daughter Claire really liked it with the purple and green flowers at the bottom. What she said she liked about this was that this is just how it looks. We have so many gray skies in the San Francisco Bay Area. I live right on the coast in Half Moon Bay, and right now this is exactly the color of the sky. It's just this kind of light gray. We get a lot of it, so I'm not going to wet the green here at the bottom. I'm just wetting the sky and the bridge. So the color that I'm going to use for most of the sky, I'm kind of looking out my window right now. Okay, so I'm going to paint right over the bridge with this sky color. I'm going to use a color I've been using lately, which is neutral tint. See, it's just gray. It's just this beautiful gray. But that's just a little too gray, so I'm going to actually add a little bit of burnt sienna. No, I'm sorry. French ultramarine blue into that. And if you want to, you can even do a little bit of cerulean into that if you want. It's up to you what kind of bluish gray you want to use up here. So I wet my sky, and now I have wet paint. So this is wet into wet. I'm going to make it pretty pale. And it always dries lighter. Watercolor dries lighter. I'm leaving some streaks in the sky. It's not just totally solid. And then I have it getting lighter as it comes down to the horizon line, which in this case is the grass. The trick to doing a good sky is to paint it and to leave it alone. This needs to dry before I put in the rest of this. So while that's drying, I'm actually going to start to put in the foreground. I'm going to leave a little bit of dry paper. In class, I won't need to, I can do this just in steps because the sky will be able to dry. Well, my sky can dry while you're painting. So I'm going to use this trick of starting with the lightest color in the foreground, which is the yellow. Really just kind of going up to that sky. I think if it blends a little bit, it's going to be okay. I'm kind of scrubbing lightly there at that edge. I can sign my name in this yellow because I'm going to put green over it. So I need to go up about 1 inch so that my signature will show up when it's matted. I sign in cursive, Mary Kay S. Jolly. I put a little C with a circle around it for copyright. Now I'm going to go and make some green. So yellow and Antwerp blue, excuse me, makes this green. So this is my light green. First I started with yellow and now I'm going to light green. I'm making the green come up on both edges of the paper here, even though the photo doesn't do that. So that my eye doesn't go out. Now I'm leaving splotches of lighter color. Went over my name so that would show up. Now I'm making darker green. Dark green is burnt sienna and Antwerp blue. So I'm actually putting these flowers at the top, just using the side of this brush to put these in. So the sky's almost dry now. You can see that the flowers in the sky are staying in their little cute little lines, but underneath is blurring because it's wet into wet down there. I'll put some purple over some of this. I'm just following along with the kind of, I think what these plants are, I call them towering jewels. They're these big purple plants that the Portuguese brought over, the fishermen, and they planted them everywhere. From their, it's the Azores though, the island of Azores, not the actual Portugal. And they're a native of Africa, as a lot of plants are around here. Okay, so I just want to kind of blend this in. I'm going to put some purples over those. Boy, I'm just tempted, since I'm on this roll, just tempted to go right ahead and put these big flowers on them too. Maybe I will do that. I'll just go ahead and put the flowers on. Okay, so I'm gonna make purple, and I'm gonna use my number 10 pencil brush. So purple is Permanent Rose and French Ultramarine Blue. You can also add in violet if you want to. Not really a big reason to do it. I touch my paper towel. I'm going to put these big blurry ones in and just see what they do down here. They blur. They go right into the background. I love that. So now I'm just going to try some of these over here. I'm putting the purple right over the green. Like I said in class, I would let the sky dry and then put in the bridge and then put these flowers in, but because my sky was so wet, I just decided to do it this way. So it doesn't really matter a lot of times which way you do things. These pencil brushes, there's less than $5 at these museums and museums stores. I love to just give them as a gift. I just bought 10 more online for my new students. I'm doing this loose and free. This is just a very loose part of the painting down below, but we're getting these, I'm getting rain right outside my window. The storms are these little pockets of really big downpours of rain. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that for now. Let's see if I want to come back to that. That's easy color to mix up again. Okay, I'm going to clean that part of my palette out. The light here is, okay, that helps. I don't want the light there. Okay, now the bridge. Okay, so the simplest thing in the world, if you have this color right here, quinacridone burnt orange, it's just does it so perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to touch my paper towel before I go to my bridge. I'm just going to paint this solid, and then I'll go back and put some shadows in it. So there's just this little thing here. There's a highlight I went around. I drew around it. I should leave that highlight. So I don't have to worry about the shadowing of this yet. And if my hand's a little shaky, now this is a painting, this is not a photograph. So I like it. I like things that aren't perfect. I like when it goes out of the line a little bit, like that one just did. See, I think it makes it look more like a painting. I'm not going to worry about little mistakes. It's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. Because this is a, whoops, that one wasn't such a good move outside the line there, but oh well. If I wanted it to be a photograph, I would take a photograph and put that on my wall, but I'm doing a painting, and paintings aren't perfect. That's the beauty. They have more expression, more feel, although, you know, a really good photograph has a lot of good feeling too, but the point is that it doesn't need to be perfect. Bridges are super straight, but Okay, there's that first layer. Oh, these little balls on top. I'm not quite sure. So this is from the Marin Headlands looking south towards San Francisco. I was just trying to decide if I wanted to try to pick up that little spot. They do get a little wider as they go down. There's these little... Okay. Alrighty. I might just try to lift up these highlights with... that's good. I like that. So I just went right over the highlight, and now this is called a thirsty brush. So I rinse it out and I dry it in my paper towel, and then just with the tip of the brush, I just rub in those places I want to lift the paint to make these little highlights. These little highlights is just a little spot in the painted bridge. Okay, so there it is, the bridge, just like that. So simple. Now I need to put in the cables going, the big ones at the top, not the ones going down. We're gonna wait on those. The ones going across, I think because I've gone over these with my pencil twice now, they are so dark, but using this tracing paper, which is the non-soluble tracing paper, there's going to be a bit of a dark line underneath these, so I can paint these as red or burnt scarlet or okay. Now I'm going to use a brush. I have 5 of them, but if you have yours, bring it. This is called a rigger brush because they were originally used to do the riggers on sailing ships. So what it takes is, so see how long and skinny the brush is? It holds a lot of paint. It can make a really nice long line with one single stroke. So what you have to do is just get ready to move your arm, and it's just one stroke. If you muff up a little bit, you don't get to fix it. It's just, you just get to use this. So here we're starting at the top here, and I'm just going to follow this along the best I can. I'm just going to follow this. See how I'm not perfect? Okay, here, this one starts at the back of this. You can't see it, and then it comes here. See how I went crooked? Oh well, it's a painting. This one I'm going to go from over here and up to the top. Again, oops, I kind of ran out of ink paint on that one here. I'm going to try to go from here. That one goes right over the top like that. And then there are these dots. And it's good to have the dots because the dots are where the cables hang down from. So when you draw this, you need to put those dots in there. I'm going to use a ruler to get these dots in straight. There's one here, there's one there, there's one here, one there. These are where, I'm not quite sure actually, there must be one there. Okay, here. There's all the dots. Now what I'm going to do is go in, I guess I'll use my pencil brush. And I'm going to put in the shadow on the right side here. There's not a lot of sun. So what I'm going to do right now is just make myself a little spot to make some, whoa, that was wet, shadow color. That is my neutral tint, but I'm going to add a little bit of French ultramarine blue to it, just like I did the sky. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put in some shadows. So there's shadows up here on those. There's shadows on the right side of that, of this. So my orange paint, or burnt scarlet, is still damp, so it's making it's kind of blurring, which I don't mind. Okay, go around the highlight. It's underneath that. It's down the side here. Down this side. And then it's down the inside of this. And where else? It goes around this edge here. Goes around this edge up here. Oy. I did that one already. And then there's these little lines that, you know, I'm not quite sure. It's kind of a shadow in this part of the bridge structure. I'm just going to put them in, but very, very pale. It's like there's a little square, and inside the square are these little lines coming down. They're not the cables coming down. They're part of the structure of this thing. I got to figure out the names of these things. My bridge building friends are probably. I know the parts of a flower better than I know the parts of a bridge. I'm going to try to just lift that little piece up there. Use a clean paper towel. I'm probably making that worse. That's the reason. One of the reasons not to try to fix it is you make it worse. Okay, so basically, this painting is so close to being done. What I'm going to do to get all the lines coming down are, I'm going to work from right to left. I'm going to use my rigger with the gray paint. Touch my paper towel. So there's a straight, it's perfect. It's got to be straight down. You've got to get these to be very perpendicular. And they're going to just go down from every dot to the grass. And then you might want to wipe. One thing I found was if I could smear it. Sorry, I'm talking kind of funny. Can you even see what I'm doing? Some of these are right on top of each other, which is the way it really makes it feel authentic. Oh, see, now I just smeared that one. So I gotta wipe it and try to just go right next to this. There, that was better. Okay, now here, trying to keep this just as skinny as I can. And if I kind of skip, it's okay, because your eye will fill that in for you. Okay, so I just have to be patient. It's probably the hardest part. just being patient. Okay. See, I love how they just change their distances apart, and then that really makes it look like I think there's one right here. You just got to keep them straight up and down. And then this one here has one here that goes all the way down through all that and through all this. I guess that one in the back would not have gone in front. That makes sense, except it ended up going right over the little lines, so you can't tell. All right. Now, this one here is on the front cable, so it goes right over the whole bridge. And there's one here that goes over the front, over the bridge. And then I think there's one that starts right there that goes behind. Now I'm on this side. There's one right here from the bottom cable. Right here from the top cable. Oh, that one kind of smeared. Then I touched it. Top cable. Yeah, I need to wipe it every time now because, okay, so from the top cable straight down. Bottom cable. Top. Bottom. Top. Bottom. Top. See, they're getting different distances apart now, so that you can tell. See, I love this. I don't know why this just gets me. I love how that works. It's like, remember when you did spirograph and the lines would go closer and farther and closer and farther? So if you load your brush again, I think it's pretty important to touch your paper towel so your first line doesn't have a really dark. That one did though, well. Lower cable's little, upper cable, lower cable, upper cable, lower cable. Where are they? Right here. Here. Lower cables. Here. Here. That one went right there, so I'm going to kind of move it. Okay. So, I think it's basically done. That's how easy this painting is. I think it reads bridge. I think it reads springtime with those towering jewels, or maybe this is later summer because the towering jewels are just starting. They're not really out yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to do more, if I want to put some brighter red on the bridge, but I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to stop. So thanks for watching till the end.